Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
One thing we don't talk about much is that for every trip Mike makes, it takes hours of logistical planning, and it takes hours of packing, getting things ready. He's still machining 50 miles on this kind of a trail. This is a good trail. And things get knocked loose, so he's learned over the years how to keep things tight and secure.
Prep time varies, but you know, it takes as much time to load and unload a sled, strap it down, unstrap it, as it does to almost to drive the distance. Sticky snow now, it's clogging up. I just spent 15 minutes pulling the snow out from under, chipping it out from underneath the track, because while it's soft and pliable now, in the morning it'll be, you know, a sheet of, or a chunk of ice, and the machine won't want to move. So I got to get that out tonight so that I'm ready to go in the morning. Now the next thing that I'm doing is, can you see these? It's just a bolt, just a simple standard lock nut and bolt. And the reason I have these is that right now we're getting into this freeze-thaw cycle, and lubrication for the machine, for cooling, for keeping the track lubricated, and all of that is starting to become a problem. In the early morning, like when I leave in the morning, you can see the skies are clearing off. It's good, going blue sky, and so the temperature will drop down tonight, you know, probably in the teens. And this snow that is compacted, well, it's very soft, and you sink into it now. In the morning it'll be hard as a rock, and so there's nothing being kicked up. So I have to do two things for that, or I do two things for that. One is that I have some standard commercial scratchers that you can see here. There's a lot of different varieties, but simply a cable with a sharp point here on the end, and it just trails along and throws snow up. So I've got those on both sides. So
it throws the snow up and kicks it onto the track to help the coolant
here, and it keeps all of this lubricated. And then I've also got what they call heat exchangers underneath, and the track throws snow onto those, and that's how it helps cool the engine. Of course, I've got a radiator and a fan and antifreeze and all that too, but it's added cooling, and that becomes important in these warmer conditions. One of our biggest enemies is heat, and that's why I needed that belt so badly, because the combination of heat and a heavy load that I'm going to pull, it just eats a belt up. They get really hot, and then they start to delaminate, and then you're stuck. So the other thing that I like to do is, and this is my own creation.
And these are the bolts that you just showed us.
So I have the bolt here, and what I've done is I have a hole in my track right there that I've put towards the tail of the ski. Not the track, I'm sorry, the ski. The tail of the ski, and I'll put these in and all the way down, put the bolt on, and it'll stick down. It'll protrude down below the track, and as the track articulates as I'm going along, it acts as a scratcher as well, and it sprays snow back up here. So I get a much better coverage between the scraper and the back. These on the back side of the skis, I get a much better spray pattern out of that for cooling and for lubrication. And for me, I think it does a much better job.
So when the snow is soft like this, you don't need it, but in the morning when it's going to be hard and nothing's kicking up, that's when you need it, right?
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. And for these, I can just simply take these and tuck them up right there, and they're out of the way.
Okay.
And that's where they ride most of the time. The scratchers that I put on front, I really wait till they're really needed before I do these, because I don't want to put these in and take them out all the time. They do inhibit the steering a little bit, but the lubrication is worth the
And once you get used to the steering difference, then you just know it.
And so, you know, we're getting into these hard snow, icy conditions, and springtime riding. There's even folks out on the trail right now, freighters, what we call ourselves, freighters. They'll be pulling one or two big sleds like this with heavy loads. And some of them are even, and I would like to do it myself, but you get into these kind of conditions with the heat, that they'll take a center section out of their hood. so that the engine is completely exposed, so that that heat can dissipate, because heat's just a killer. Belt, engine, you know, everything. And then all that heat coming back up on you during the course of the day. If it's sun shining and bright and it's 40 degrees and you're traveling down the trail working to keep a sled load of stuff moving, it gets hot. But I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm not ready to cut up my hood for that purpose.
I remember the first time that I rode somebody's machine that had scratchers on it and I didn't know it, and we went maybe just a couple miles down the trail and I flagged you down and I said, something is wrong with this sled. It is not steering right, it's not tracking right. But then once you told me the scratchers were on it and I just adjusted to that, then and it was all good. Pulls a little more.
It's really a bear if you come across a stump or a log. Or you have to cross pavement.
Do you ever rip the ski off on a stump or a log, or would it just rip the
No,
bolt?
it just brings you to a screeching halt.
I see.
So what have I been working now? About probably close to 4 hours now, just getting this load ready.
I said that it took at least a couple hours of logistical planning and at least a couple hours for every sled load that you were packing.
The other thing is I've got to, of course I got to determine what has to go in, and then I have to calculate my weight on coming back. What can I carry, especially when I have multiple items to carry and more than one trip to do. I'm always calculating, what's the weight distribution, how much weight I can carry at a time, and the conditions. I'm assuming, I know tomorrow I'm going to come back. It's most likely going to be sunny, and it's going to be afternoon. Hope early afternoon, but it could be late afternoon before I get started on the trail. And that means everything's going to be really soft. And so I'm lightening up the load. I pull about 1,500 pounds as opposed to 2,000. And sometimes I'll drop that even down to 800-900 pounds if necessary. Sometimes it gets to that point, but we're not there yet. So anyway,
7:30 a.m. March 26th. We got up at 6 to have breakfast. Let Mike prepare. He's gonna do about 50 miles to where the truck is, and then they get the bottles in the truck, take all that stuff to get filled up while maintaining safe distance from people. Shouldn't be a problem. About 17 degrees. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Breaking the skis loose. Got any freezing going on overnight. His spot, which is his emergency locator that he carries.
track my every move. The husband tracker.
Love you.
Hopefully in 3 hours. Turn my music on. Hopefully in 3 hours I'll be in Willow into the truck.
Got his tunes. What you listening to right now?
Chicago. 1 through 10. And various other. I like a variety. Old timer rock.
Classic rock, it's called. It's a process. Setting his trip meter.
Well, I'm about 10 miles into my trip. I'm still on the Iditarod Trail. It's been a beautiful, clear morning so far, about 17 degrees. But it looks like I'm headed into fog. Right there should be Sleeping Lady. And it's disappeared. You can see on the trees the wisps of fog starting to develop. Starting to obscure the sunrise, though it's still beautiful. I doubt it will last for long, but it could be a pain in the butt for a little while. I'm about 4 miles from the Susitna River right now. I gotta cross it, get up into Big Swamp. Gotta keep moving. Just getting to the Susitna River. There was a moose here on the trail. It's a cow. Looks very pregnant. Where'd she go? Ah, there she is. You can see here now the moose are reduced to stripping bark off of the trees. They've eaten most of the twigs, and now they're down to scraping the bark off. The end of March, deep snow. They've been having a tough time. Actually, 2 moose this morning. Bald eagle
Next to its nest, second bald eagle came in. So this must be the nesting pair for that eagle's nest right there. They'll mate for life and they come back to the same nest and expand it year after year. So I'm going to guess that's their nest. And then down here, where are they? Down quite a ways now. A couple of moose, both cows.